This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
We got Bob Holt finally with us today. Bob, vacation. How was it, man? What you up to?
It was a lot of fun. I was visiting some friends in the Lexington area. I'd been there for work a lot, but hadn't been there just to, on vacation. There's a lot of stuff to do in the area, so it was a nice time.
We were Phil and his family was on vacation. They were doing a little fishing, so we were kind of seeing what kind of activities. What kind of activities Bob Holt do on vacation?
Well, in this instance, I went to the Louisville Slugger Museum one day. I'd been to Louisville, but never did that. That was pretty cool. And within, about 3 blocks, they have the Muhammad Ali Center, which is basically a museum devoted to him. So you can knock those two out, going to Louisville. And I went to a horse, like a third, and several horses that had won Triple Crown races, got to feed them some carrots and pet them if they were so obliged, like Silver Charm, Touch Gold, Grind, or Birdstone, I should say, Lava Man. If people know horses, they've probably heard of those horses. That was fun. Just got to see some friends, and I went over to Frankfurt and to look at the Capitol, and I got to sit in the governor's office because he was gone. To let people do that, so that was kind of funny. And just really enjoyed. It's beautiful scenery there with the horse farms and just driving around, and it was just fun to go there and not have to work.
Absolutely. I always say that Kentucky game whenever I was, I believe I was a junior, and that was the best field I ever played on in college. And now Kentucky has field turf. They don't even have grass, but the Bluegrass State, it's very surprising. Bob, have you seen any of this summer league ball and seeing Jordan Walsh go off? What are you thinking as Razorback fans? Do we think we kind of missed out on one, seeing Nick Smith and seeing Anthony Black all kind of just doing their thing in the summer league?
Yeah, I have watched some of the summer league games. I mean, there's not a ton of stuff going on, especially during the All-Star break. There's no baseball for a few days. Yeah, I watched Orlando play last night and saw Anthony Black play, and I think it was Adis Tony's playing for him some too, and I saw Walsh play. And they've got like 4 games on every night. But, yeah, I mean, obviously Nick Smith was never really fully healthy and, fully sharp as he would have been if he had missed all that time, and you saw him go off for 33 the other night. I get it's the summer league. It's not the playoffs, but still I think that gives people a taste for what he's capable of doing. And yeah, if you could have had a healthy Nick Smith all year and a healthy Trevor Brazil, I mean, who knows what Arkansas might have done. Maybe the Sweet 16 would have still been the extent of what they could do. But I thought they rallied late, had a strong finish to the season. Anthony Black obviously was one of the best all-around players in the country. That's reflected by him being picked so high, and I think people understand the potential Nick Smith has, and that's why he was still a first-round pick. And Jordan Walsh was the top 38 pick, even though his stats weren't eye-popping, but, he can play defense and rebound, and he scored pretty well the other night. I know from reading some stories he really worked hard on his jump shot, and so, people can wonder what if all those guys had been on top of their games and healthy, but that's one thing that in this day and age, you get the one-and-done guys, you don't get to enjoy them real long at the college level because they're gone pretty quick.
Bob, with the on vacation deal, so I think the reason why Phil Elson has you on this show, this is Clay, by the way. Y'all are cat people. So what happens to the cats when Bob Holt is gone for like 10 days or whatever?
Well, I have somebody check on them. Fortunately, down to one cat now, but I have a friend who comes in and checks on him every day. Checks on Freehand now every day, and make sure he gets his wet food and has all his water and get some attention. Has clean litter. And cats are they like their litter boxes clean. I guess just like people like their bathrooms clean, right? So, I'm not one of these people that just leaves the cat alone for a week or some. I mean, they'd probably survive, but I don't think that's very good for them.
So, do you think cat people and dog people are different?
I don't know. I mean, I like both animals. The reason I have cats, well, we always always had cats when I was growing up. One, my mom really liked cats. My dad honestly did not care for them that much. I didn't realize that when I was a kid. But, from a standpoint of just, traveling, a lot, cats are very, they don't have to go outside 3 times a day or whatever dogs need to. They don't need to be walked. Well, some people sometimes will get a harness or whatever for a cat and take him for a walk. I don't know I don't think Freehand would like that very much. Or he gets outside every once in a while by mistake. But
your cat is named Freehand?
Yeah, it's named after Bill Freehand, the great Tigers catcher. I like to name them after baseball players.
That's pretty cool, Bob. We were talking about kind of jersey numbers and stuff like that, and Bob Holt. So like jersey numbers, you wouldn't just call them 7 like Mickey Mantle. You actually call them the name. Yeah.
Yeah, but Bill Freehand, I don't know why I remember this. His number was 11. And Mickey Lolich, who's a great pitcher, was number 29. He's the guy that won 3 games against the Cardinals in the 68 series when I was a little kid, and I still remember that.
That's pretty cool.
So what were the names of your other cats?
Well, I had a cat named Caroline for Al Kaline. I had a Whitaker, who she lived to be almost 20. She was named for Lou Whitaker, who also should be in the Hall of Fame. So there's a lot of great Tigers. Freehand, I got him as a kitten at the shelter. I don't think he's a purebred, but he's a Maine Coon, and he's definitely part Maine Coon. I don't know how much, but he's very big. He got to be as big as 25 pounds, which is pretty big for a cat. Now I think he's more like 21. But I should have named him Lolich because Mickey Lolich was a great left-hander, but he was kind of known for being portly. So I probably should have named Freehand Lolich.
Yep. My brother and his wife had a cat for, I think, 26 years. And
wow.
They decided to name that cat had something to do with hockey, and it was Lord Stanley.
Oh, well, that's a nice name. If I did that, I'd probably name mine Gordie Howe for the Red Wings.
Yeah, Lord Stanley, after the cup.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I think that's the oldest trophy in North America or something like that.
Bob, are you excited for SEC Media Days? Will you go? Are you attending SEC Media Days?
Yeah, me, Wally, and Tom are all going to go on Sunday. It's going to be in Nashville for the first time. Yeah, that's always a good time.
How many is this for you?
Gosh, I don't know. I'm trying to remember if I've ever missed any for any reason. But, I Arkansas joined the league in 92.
92, yeah.
And so I think I've been to every one, but I might have missed one for some reason. But I've definitely been to most of them. It's changed quite a bit. It's gotten a lot bigger. There's so many media now. In the SEC, basically, they want to be very inclusive and have a lot of people, and they have all the radio shows come in and do stuff. And so it was a big event in the 90s, but it's really gotten big now.
It is a production. That's that we got the 3 Hogs going. What are you interested in just talking with them, or are you interested in talking with some other coaches or some other teams? Is Bobby Petrino going to be there? Hugh Freeze at Auburn. Who are you kind of more interested in talking with?
Well, I don't think Bobby's going to be there. It's the head coaches and 3 players. It used to be 2 players, but they upgraded it to 3. And, yeah, we stay for the whole time. We basically do a series on every team. Obviously, Arkansas, is a big story there, and you usually get a little extra time with Sam Pittman and the players. But, yeah, it'll be interesting to see Hugh Freeze back in the league. He was very successful at Ole Miss and then had some off-the-field issues and lost his job. But, there's a lot of coaches that come back into the SEC. Nick Saban's, from LSU, Dolphins now down at Alabama, and you got Lane Kiffin, who was at Tennessee, now he's at Ole Miss, and of course Houston Nutt did Arkansas and Ole Miss. Tommy Tuberville, another Arkansan, did Ole Miss and Auburn. So I'm definitely interested to kind of see about Hugh Freeze. It'll be interesting to ask Jimbo Fisher about the dynamic between he and Bobby Petrino, because Bobby Petrino's was brought in to fix that offense, which was not very good last year. And you feel like the Aggies have a lot of talent. Talent's usually not an issue for A&M. It's maybe getting that talent to execute the way they should. And, we all know Bobby Petrino's an elite offensive coach, but Jimbo Fisher's called the plays for a long time. So how's that dynamic going to work out? I'm curious about that. Georgia's going for the third straight national title. But they've had a lot of off-the-field issues. Had tragic car accident. The staffer and a player died in. They've had other issues with speeding, and different things. And, to the extent where Kirby Smart kind of got out ahead of it and had a meeting with Georgia media earlier this week, probably said, so when he gets asked about it in Nashville, he can say, I've already talked about that, read these stories or whatever. So there's always a lot of good, interesting storylines. As you see media, as I saw this morning with Greg Sankey, just got a contract extension through 2028. He always does kind of a state of the SEC and college football address, and then takes questions. And, with all the thing going on with NIL and transfer portal and expansion, there's always some things to ask him about.
Where do you see? I know y'all do votes, and how do you see Arkansas stacking up in the SEC West? This is the last year, I guess, for divisions. Do you think they're going to be picked in the top half, or do you see us probably down there fifth or sixth?
It wouldn't surprise me if they're down there fifth or sixth. I probably have, I think I don't know what order, but I think pretty much most people are going to put Alabama and LSU, those top two spots in the West. Some might have one or the other.
Mm-hmm.
And I think A&M is going to be pretty good if Petrino and Jimbo Fisher, can work together. And then I probably would pick Arkansas fourth. But I think, once you get past LSU and Alabama, they're the top teams. I think that doesn't mean they're going to finish at the top. But after that, when you talk about A&M, Arkansas, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, anybody else in the West, I think there's not a whole lot of difference, and it really is probably going to come down to who wins those close games. You look at last year, Arkansas lost a lot of close games and went 7-6. The year before, they had a couple really good wins, beating LSU in overtime and hanging on against Mississippi State. Of course, they had a tough loss to Ole Miss 2 years ago, but the close games went their way. And I think for a team like Arkansas that has a lot of talent nationally, but in the SEC, there are teams that obviously have more talent than they do. So to me, for them to have a real good season in the conference, they got to win those close games.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.